Good morning and welcome to Mission Control Houston. I'm Shaniqua Vereen and we are live inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room, where we will be bringing you live coverage today of the 265th spacewalk in support of International Space Station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. We're currently in a LOS, or a small brief period between our satellites. We'll have imagery back inside the International Space Station for you. Today we'll be seeing two NASA astronauts, Hoburg and Steve Bowen, who will exit the station's Quest airlock to install an upgraded IROSA, or International Space Station Rollout Solar Array, on the 1B power channel today. And that is on the starboard truss of the station. The new ISS solar array, or IROSA, will increase the space station's total available power.
Houston airlock on 1 for step 11. We have the recorded GMT 11:30. 1130.
Copy 11:30.
Today's spacewalk will see the sixth IROSA mounted to the existing station solar arrays, the fifth array installed just last week on June 9th by the same duo. The new solar arrays are 60 feet long by 20 feet wide and will shade a little more than half of the original arrays, which are 112 feet by 39 feet wide. Each new IROSA will produce more than 20 kilowatts of electricity, and once all are installed, will enable a 30% increase in power production over the station's current arrays. Prior to the start of today's coverage, we did hear that the crew is running about 10 minutes ahead of their schedule. And now you're looking live into the equipment part of the Quest airlock of the International Space Station, where you see NASA astronaut Frank Rubio and UAE, or the United Arab Emirates astronaut Sultan Al-Nayati, helping out the duo get suited up today. You see NASA astronaut Hoburg. He's suited up in the suit with the red stripes. And there he is on the left of your screen, on the center of your screen. And Steve Bowen, he's on the right, or the lower portion of your screen, and he is in this unmarked suit. And again, they are preparing right now for their exit of that Quest airlock a little later this morning.
Houston airlock for the MEDOX serial numbers. We've got 20 and 22.
We copy. Good numbers.
This spacewalk will be the second spacewalk of Hoburg's career, completing his first just a week ago, and this will be the 10th for Bowen. This will tie Bowen with Mike Lopez Alegria, Bob Behnken, Peggy Whitson, and Chris Cassidy for most spacewalks by a U.S. astronaut. Bowen has accumulated 60 hours and 22 minutes of spacewalking time in his previous 9 EVAs. This is going to be the 6th spacewalk for Expedition 69 and the 8th spacewalk of 2023.
In airlock step 21 is 11:34. 11:34.
We copy 11:34.
And again, you're looking live inside the equipment lock portion of the Quest airlock. The duo are suited up and going through some final procedures before they head out the hatch later this morning. Also in the airlock assisting is NASA astronaut Frank Rubio and UAE astronaut Sultan Anayati. During today's spacewalk, Hoburg and Bowen will focus on the installation of the IROSA on the S6 truss for the 1B power channel, whose array has some degraded power strings. This will complete the third pair of IROSAs for the station.
And Houston airlock, good lift check on both EMUs.
Houston copies, good lead check.
The spacewalking duo arrived to the station, a part of the Crew 6 mission, NASA SpaceX Crew 6 mission, and they arrived to the station after a launch from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. They launched from Complex 39A, and they arrived to the orbiting laboratory 2 days later. They launched on March 2nd and arrived to the station 2 days later. And along with those duo will also be on station is Expedition 69. Also includes astronaut Frank Rubio from your left. Roscosmos cosmonaut Dmitry Patelin, UAE or United Arab Emirates astronaut Sultan Adiyati. You see your spacewalking duo there in the center. That's Woody Hoburg. And to the right is going to be Stephen Bowen. And beside him, it's going to be Dmitry Patelin of Roscosmos. And to the right of him, it's going to be the commander of the station currently, that's Sergei Prokopiev. You currently see NASA astronaut Frank Rubio and Sultan Anayati of the United Arab Emirates currently working on a safer. The safer is that portion of the spacesuit that is going to be just in case, in the unlikelihood that the crew member is separated from the International Space Station. That safer is going to give them just enough propulsion to get back to the station. And again, we did say the duo is ahead of their normal schedule. We currently see the suit-up leads helping out Stephen Bowen get his safer attached. That safer, or that simplified aid for EVA rescue. Again, that's essentially that jetpack the astronauts wear when they perform spacewalks. And again, this is just a precautionary measure in the unlikely event that an astronaut were to become untethered from the space station. That safer would allow the crew member to safely propel themselves back to station. Again, once the safers are successfully installed on the astronauts, they will be moved through the equipment lock portion of the airlock you see on the top of your screen, and they will go into that next session, the crew lock portion of that Quest airlock. The hatch will then be closed behind them, and final preparations will begin to depressurize the crew lock all the way down to vacuum. They'll then complete suit checks and communication checks with the flight control team here in Houston before venturing outside the hatch. Again, now you see Sultan Anayati and Frank Rubio working together to install the safer on Woody Hoburg's suit. Again, you can tell the difference between the two spacewalkers by their stripes. Woody Hoburg has the suit with the red stripe, or the EV-1, extravehicular crew member 1, and then you see Stephen Bowen to the left, and he has a suit with no stripes. And he is designated EV-2, or extravehicular crew member 2. The spacesuits you see the duo wearing now are EMUs, or extravehicular mobility units, which are essentially a mini life support system providing environmental protection, mobility, and communications for the crew members during their spacewalk today. If you're just joining us, we're bringing you live coverage today of the 8th spacewalk of 2023 and the 265th spacewalk in support of International Space Station Assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. So far this morning, NASA astronauts Woody Hoburg and Stephen Bowen have completed pre-breathe, and they are currently getting their safers installed. Once safers are successfully installed, we'll see those two go into the crew lock portion of the Quest airlock. And there we go. We currently see Sultan Anayati and Frank Rubio helping Woody Hoburg into the crew lock portion of that Quest airlock. And now we see them begin to put the safer on Stephen Bowen. Again, the safer or the simplified aid for EVA rescue is essentially a jetpack that the astronauts wear when they perform spacewalks. The safer is worn as a precautionary measure in the unlikely event that an astronaut were to become untethered from the space station. They can use the safer, and it would allow them to safely propel themselves back to the space station. Again, once the safers are successfully installed, you'll see both of the crew members moved into that crew lock portion of the Quest airlock. And then the hatch will be closed behind them. The final preparations will begin to depressurize the crew lock all the way down to vacuum. They'll then complete suit checks and communication checks with the flight control team here in Houston before venturing outside the hatch this morning. Again, if you're just joining us, we are bringing you live coverage today of the 8th spacewalk out of the ISS this year and the 265th spacewalk in support of International Space Station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. So far, NASA astronaut Woody Hoburg and Stephen Bowen have completed pre-brief. They've had their safers installed. We have Woody already in the crew lock portion, and we see them finishing up here installation for the safer on Stephen Bowen. Once Stephen has his safer successfully installed, we'll see the duo Frank Rubio, NASA astronaut, and UAE astronaut Sultan Adiyati move Stephen Bowen over into the crew lock portion of the Quest airlock. Once both spacewalkers are over in the crew lock portion, we'll see that hatch between them closed, and we'll begin procedures for depressurization. And now with his safer successfully installed, we see Stephen Bowen being led into that crew lock portion of the Quest airlock. Again, once both crew members are in a good configuration inside the crew lock portion, we'll see Sultan Adiyati, UAE astronaut, and NASA astronaut Frank Rubio move back, and we'll see them close that hatch. From there, we'll be looking at the depressurization process beginning. If you're just joining us, we're bringing you live coverage today of the 8th spacewalk of the ISS out of the ISS this year and the 265th spacewalk in support of International Space Station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. So far, NASA astronauts Woody Hoburg and Steve Bowen have completed pre-brief. They had their safers installed, and they are inside the crew lock portion of that Quest airlock. Today's spacewalk will be Woody Hoburg's second and Stephen Bowen's 10th spacewalk. Hoburg is EV1 or extravehicular crew member 1. He's wearing the suit with the red stripes. You'll see his helmet cam once he exits the hatch today. He will be helmet cam number 22. Boeing is designated as EV2 or extravehicular crew member number 2. And he has the suit with no stripes, and he will have helmet cam number 20 today. And right now, you see Frank Rubio, who is looking like he is closing the hatch right now between the crew lock and the equipment lock portion of the Quest airlock. All right, again, you're seeing the hatch closure. This is isolating Hoburg and Boeing in the crew lock section of the Quest airlock. Once the crew gets the go from the team in Houston, depressurization of the crew lock will begin. Depressurization will take the crew lock from its current 14.7 psi all the way down to vacuum. Final suit checks and comm checks will occur, and then the crew will be giving the go to place their suits on internal battery power, which will mark the official start of today's spacewalk.
And Houston airlock step 76 and 77 completed.
Yeah, copy that, Sultan. Good morning. And Houston's working on 78, 79, and 80. We'll let you know when they're complete.
Good morning, Nick. Copy regarding 78 through 80.
He was talking with it.
And Station Houston, you are now hot mic. Step 80 is complete. We're still working on 78 and 79.
81 copies. Good morning, Nick. 82 copies. Station calls.
And you just heard a call from United Arab Emirates astronaut Sultan Adiati, and the response from Nick Hague, NASA astronaut Nick Hague, who's Capcom, or the capsule communicator, communicating all the way through depressurization this morning, at which point the ground IV, Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jenny Gibbons, will take over communications, walking the crew through today's spacewalk. Gibbons was selected by the Canadian Space Agency as one of the 2 members of the 2017 CSA group alongside Joshua Kutrick. And in the room, you'll see Brendan Lloyd, flight director, who will be leading the charge today. And we have lead spacewalk officer Megan Shutika and Miranda Nelson also helping out with today's EVA. You won't hear them, but they'll be working behind the scenes, helping everything run smoothly.
want to let you know we're done with step 78, 79. Your go to press in step 81, and when you get to step 84, you are go.
We are go for step 81, and in step 84 we are go for the key part.
That's good, read back.
Steve, this is step for you, just checking the depress pump power is off.
Depress pump power is off.
5 depress pump enabled AD is on.
Enable LED is on.
Okay, so we've got the go to perform the depress cue card, and we'll give you the commands once ready.
Okay, ready.
And you just heard Sultan Adiyati confirm that they had the go for depress.
Right, Steve, on the UIA, switch depress pump power on.
Depress pump power is on.
So 10 seconds for completion of startup.
Okay, that should be 10 seconds.
I'll take the depress pump manual isolation valve to open. Expect an alert on.
Depress pump manual isolation valve is open.
What we do during this time, monitor suit pressure gauge is always less than 5.5.
Copy. Copy.
At this time, depressurization will occur in a two-stage fashion. The crew lock will be taken down to about 5.5 pounds per square inch of pressure, at which point they'll pause in depressurization to do a system check. Then depressurization will resume to get the crew lock all the way down to vacuum. Once it gets down to vacuum, Woody Hoburg and Steve Bowen will conduct suit checks and communication checks with Mission Control Houston before they put their suits on internal battery power. Again, that will mark the official start of today's spacewalk. And again, we're in a brief handover period between satellites, but we're back inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room, where the Orbit 2 team is ready to support today's spacewalk under the direction of Flight Director Brandon Lloyd. To his right at the Capcom console is Ground IV Jenny Gibbons, who serves as spacewalk communicator, who will talk directly with the crew during the spacewalk, helping them to choreograph timelines and procedures. And to her right is Capcom or CAPS communicator, NASA astronaut Nick Hague. And again, you'll hear him communicating with the crew up until the point of depressurization this morning, at which point the Ground IV will take over communicating with the spacewalking duo.
Just a reminder, Woody and Steve, when the crew lock at 6 psi, expect an alert on.
Copy. Copy.
and the crew airlock just under 9 psi. Again, we are looking for a pause at around 5.5 psi for some system checks. Again, following this depressurization, we'll see the crew do comm and system checks with the ground here in Houston. Then they'll switch over to internal battery power, starting the official start of today's spacewalk. A U.S. spacewalk start and end time is measured from the time the crew places their spacesuit on internal battery power all the way to up until the repressurization occurs and they're back inside the crew lock following completion of their spacewalking task for the day. Again, we're just about 5 minutes until we hit that 5 pounds per square inch of pressure. Once 5 psi is reached, depressurization will be paused so that system checks can take place. They'll then resume depressurization to get the airlock down to vacuum. Again, we're coming up on 6 pounds per square inch. And we're looking for that pause around 5 pounds for system checks. Rubio and NASA astronaut Frank Rubio and UAE astronaut Sultan Adiyati still inside the equipment section, continuing to monitor depressurization on the Quest airlock, where NASA astronauts Woody Hoburg and Stephen Bowen are suited up and undergoing preparations to venture outside of the space station's hatch for today's spacewalk. After about 5 psi is reached and system checks are performed, depress will continue until vacuum is reached.
Okay, Steve, press pump manual isolation valve go to close, please.
Press pump manual isolation valve is closed.
An alert on. On the DCM, switch display status until leak check, question mark displayed, and then switch display yes, hold for 2 seconds, and follow the displayed instructions.
And the crew lock is now down to 5 psi, and we are holding there. Again, we're going to be looking for some leak checks and other system checks before we continue down to vacuum.
Stephen Woody, I'm just verifying that you copied my last regarding the leak check.
Hey, Firm Sultan, I'm 20 seconds remaining in the leak check.
I am as well, 32.
All right, that is good.
EV1 good leak check, setting O2 actuator to EVA.
81, 82 good leak check, getting O2 actuator to EVA.
Okay, guys, that is good. Good leak check on both. Both you have the auto actuator to EVA.
Yeah.
Now, Steve, you're going to go and make the deepest pump man ISO valve open again and expect an alert on.
E2 has O2 position EVA.
And I have, let me double check, V1's in EVA as well.
Okay. Press pump manual isolation valve to open. It's open.
And we just heard we have 2 nominal leak checks, and we are continuing with depress.
Guys, the emergency MPEV is open. Monitor suit pressure gauge is always less than 5.5.
Copy.
And that crew lock portion is now down to about 2.9 psi, and we're looking for it to get down to vacuum.
All right, Steve, we're at 2 psi. Take the depress man ISO valve to close.
Depress pump man isolation valve is closed.
And on the UIA, switch depress pump power off.
Depress pump power is off.
Okay, so I'm going to hand you to the your lovely ground IV, Jenny, and you will report the initial tether configuration to her for egress. And with that, I'm going to say all the best for this EVA. I'm sure you're going to crush it just like last time. Wish you all the best. We'll be here for support and make us proud.
Thank you so much, Sultan. You guys did a great job with suit up, and we look forward to seeing you in a few hours. Eddie, good morning.
Houston is with you, ready for your tether checks.
All right, Jenny. I'm looking at the airlock D-ring extender. On that, I have Steve's left waist tether. It's closed, locked, black on black, and the small hook of that waist tether is on his left D-ring extender, gate closed, locked, black on black. On Steve's right D-ring extender, we have his red hook, all gate closed, locked, black on black, going to his unlocked red reel, the anchor hook of the red reel, gate closed, locked, black on black, to my left waist tether, also gate closed, locked, black on black. The small hook of my waist tether is on my left D-ring, gate closed, locked, black on black. Also on my left D-ring is my red reel, gate closed, locked, black on black, and that red reel is unlocked with the anchor hook on my mini workstation.
All right, we copy. That is a good config.
Thanks, Jenny.
When the crew lock DPDT is approximately 0, expect an alert tone. We have a little ways to go.
Woody, that gauge starts moving really slow.
It sure does. I see it.
If you're just joining us, you're seeing live coverage inside the International Space Station, and we're covering the 265th spacewalk for the International Space Station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. We have NASA astronauts Steve Bowen and Woody Hoburg going outside the hatch today to install an IROSA or an ISS rollout solar array on the 1B power channel. The crew so far today has gone and got in their suits. They did pre-brief. They had safers installed. They moved into the crew lock portion of the Quest airlock, and they have just finished depressurization. We'll be waiting for the crew to go onto that internal battery power, and from there we'll be starting the official time for today's spacewalk. Our duo are currently ahead of schedule. We had an estimated start time for today's EVA to be around 7:55 a.m. Central Time. However, again, the duo are ahead of the timeline. So once we hear the official go for internal battery power, that'll be the call out for the official start of today's spacewalk. Last week on June 9th,
translate back to the
inside of the International Space Station, who will be controlling that Canadarm2 that will be used to move around EV1 Woody Hoburg, NASA astronaut, as he goes towards the FSC. Once released, we heard Steve Bowen is going to be working on releasing those C-bolts at the FSC that will release the IROSA.
Copy, continue, and 3 meters to go.
Again, Woody Hoburg is going to be on the end of that SSRMS, or that robotic manipulator system known as the Canadarm2, which we use for today's spacewalk. He will be attaching the APFR, or that articulating portable foot restraint, to the robotic system. This will allow him to get on the end and fly, technically. And we have our first views of the outside. Again, we see Woody Hoburg in the suit with the red stripes. He is inside that APFR, or that articulating portable foot restraint, on the end of the robotic arm. Behind Woody, you do see Stephen Bowen, the suit with no stripes. He has that pistol grip tool in hand, or that space drill, and he'll be using that today to create torque and release sea bolts.
Our next question is going to be a journalcast. It's a nadir back-off journalcast of 4.5 minutes.
Sounds great. I'm ready. All right, Teddy. Braking torque, Bravo 3, counterclockwise 2, less than half a turn on C12.
Good words.
And that's complete.
Copy, Steve. Stow your PGT and translate to C11, stanchion delta.
All right, translating to C11.
Woody, I'll take a glove inspection and hop check from you.
Absolutely. Jams, dry hop. No change to the gloves.
Copy. Dry hop, no change to the gloves, Woody.
All right, Woody, ready when you are for the journalcast.
Here, go.
Copy, go, and start the motion.
Motion.
Copy, good motion.
And again, you're hearing from UAE astronaut Sultan Anayati, who's inside of the International Space Station. He is controlling the Canadarm2 today with Woody Hoburg, NASA astronaut, at the end. We currently see Stephen Bowen, NASA astronaut, working to release the remaining bolts holding the IROSA on the FSE, or that flight support equipment.
Counterclockwise 2.
Correction, Steve.
For 27 turns, is that correct?
Bravo 3, counter
Okay.
3.
Bravo 3, counter 3, sorry. And I'm looking for 27 turns.
Affirm, you'll be releasing C11 halfway.
All right, C11 halfway. All right, 27 turns on C11.
Copy, 27 turns, C11. You can retrieve the square scoop with the long-duration tie-down tether from the crew lock bag and stow it on your mini workstation. After that, we'll have you back at Stanchion Alpha.
All right, that's been worked. All right, let's go get it. Hey, Steve.
Yes. Watch your bag on the left for the blanket. The blanket? Yeah, it's just kind of getting down in there. You're looking good. Oh, okay. It's much better now. Oh, thank you. Yep. Oh, I see what you're talking about. All right. Scoop with the open key.
And we did have good confirmation that the bolt was released, and Stephen Bowen is now going for that crew lock bag and removing that square scoop.
Your next motion is going to be a GCA to accomplish IROSA nadir position. We're expecting 1 meter body in.
Okay, Sultan, I'm ready for that.
Okay, stand by until we set up the values. We'll give you a go.
Let me just... Yeah, go ahead and set up the values, Sultan. Steve, looks like you're going to beat me there. That looks good. I could probably reach it once I'm in there as well, but I think we're probably faster right now. All right.
Nodi, we're just going to go and hold for now until we get confirmation from the ground.
Okay.
And for Steve and Woody, Sultan's right. We're just going to wait on that next maneuver so that we can ensure Steve can translate back to the C11 bolt following the ops he does after installing this scoop here.
All right. I'm ready for PGT settings to remove C12. I think that's what I'm doing.
A-firm, you are releasing C12. Your settings are Bravo 3, counter 3.
Bravo 3, counter 3, and look at 54 turns, correct?
A-firm, those are good settings, and you'll be fully releasing C12. The bolt will spring out. Expect 51 to 54 turns.
51 to 54 turns, fully springs out. Copy.
Good words.
And with that C11 C-bolt released, Stephen Bowen has headed over to the C12 C-bolt, where he'll release that as well.
All right, 54 turns. And looks like it's sprung out. I will double check.
Copy, 54 turns.
Got a lot of wiggle in there. I can't tell if it's sprung out. I think I might give it a couple more turns just to verify. Is that right?
Checking.
It looks pretty far out. It just doesn't spring.
Yeah, we're talking that, Steve. It seems like you'll have a hard time depressing it from where it is, just because it's in a tight spot.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, it does move. You could push it with a PGT. Or it just sprung out. All right, so I think I'm complete here. I can install the scoop.
All right, sorry about that, Steve. We can confirm that that is a good bolt, so you can stow your PGT, and then we'll have you install that scoop near C12.
Okay. PGT's installed, or stowed,
Copy.
going on, 45.
And that was a good release on C12.
Okay, good pull tech, great lock, writing room ret from the PGT.
Stephen Bowen is now going to stow the postscript 2 and install the scoop on the root beam micro square near the C12 bolt.
That's complete. The scoop and long duration tie-on tether is now installed. And I'm going to head over to 11.
Copy. Once you're there, I'll take a glove inspection and hap check, and we'll coordinate with Sultan and Frank.
All right, sounds good. Actually, go get the other scoop and have it ready, all right?
Affirm.
Sounds good, Steve. We'll pick up the scoop. Sultan and Frank, I'm ready for that GCA. It's grounded, go.
Nodi. We copy, and again, it's going to be a GCA to a published position. We're expecting 1 meter body in.
Go.
And Houston is ready. You can proceed.
Right, starting motion in body in direction.
Steve, watch your bag again. Good motion, Sultan.
Copy, good motion.
Again, you can see Woody Hoburg is on the move. He's working with Sultan Ayati, UAE astronaut inside the International Space Station. He's moving towards that FSE, where Stephen Bowen has now released those C-bolts that will allow them to move and relocate the IROSA to the 1B power channel.
Copy, continue.
Okay, no more X.
Wrapping out. And Woody, that was exactly 1 meter station, our body in.
Okay, Sultan, that's perfect. Could I also have 20 centimeters body down?
We copy 20 centimeters body down, starting motion.
Good motion.
Good motion, 10 to go. And Woody, that is 20 centimeters body down.
Okay, GCA complete.
GCA complete, and brakes are coming on. Brakes are on, Woody, and we'll go for tethering.
I've got a ret on the scoop. My right hand. Annie, I've got some checks to read you when you'd like.
Copy, standby 1, Woody.
Okay.
Steve.
Yeah.
Your safety tether is around your left leg.
Around my left leg only?
Yep.
Okay.
If you roll toward me, I can probably fix it if you'd like.
All right, I can do that.
Yep, that's a good direction. That's really nice. Okay, hang on. Stay right here for a minute.
I will.
Okay, it's looking good.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That explains a couple things.
All right, we have, Steve, you've retrieved that scoop. Is that correct?
I have the scoop on me. I've got a good glove and good hat check. And I'm ready to set up for C11.
Copy. Dry hat and good gloves, and we concur that's your next step. You can position for C11. At this point, caution and warnings for both of you. Prior to releasing IROSA, ensure the FSC is not moving. Steve, remain still during IROSA release. Don't put your fingers in.
And we're seeing a helmet cam view from helmet cam number 20 that's being worn by Stephen Bowen.
Copy. Copy.
Woody, we have 16 minutes until installation. Ensure your cooling, visor, and glove heaters are set.
Visor down PCV4, glove heaters on. And my heels are secure in the boot plate. Ingress A, tools and tethers all clear.
Copy. Check gauntlets down.
Gauntlets are down.
Let's do a buddy check of each other's helmets for any signs of water.
I have a great view into Steve's helmet, and I see no signs of
Put
water.
your visor down. I can't see into yours anymore.
Yeah, okay, hang on. There you go, Steve.
Yeah, I don't see any signs of water.
Okay.
All right. Get the end of the EVA when you take your visor up.
All right, copy. Those are good checks for everybody. So Woody, maintain control of IROSA while Steve releases this final bolt and give Steve the go. When you're ready, I have settings.
I have IROSA.
I am waiting on settings.
Bravo 3, counter 3, release C11 fully. This will be an additional 24 to 26 turns.
Bravo 3, counter 3, additional 24 to 27 turns and work.
Good work.
And you just heard a nominal buddy check as the duo moved on. We hear Stephen Bowen is going to be releasing the final portion of that C11 bolt. Again, once this is released, Woody Hoburg and Steve Bowen will be releasing and lowering the IROSA, preparing it to relocate it to the 1B power channel.
All right, that was 27 turns. Nice. Exactly. Good, I'm out of count.
Copy. 27 turns, C11 release.
I saw some movement there. You think it's released? Yeah, it definitely feels. I'm trying to keep it on the pins this time, but I can tell it's released.
All right, let me get a scoop in there.
Sounds good.
Good words.
And that final bolt has been released.
All right. Is it on?
It's the lock.
Yeah, it's working. It's wiggling so much because it's so loose. All right, I got a good lock on it. I'm going to remove my rat.
Copy.
Sounds good.
And I am clear.
Okay, I have IROSA.
All right, I'm going to translate the other end.
Sounds good, Steve.
Affirm, Steve, we need you at Station Charlie.
Okay, I'm at Stanton Charlie with a good view.
Copy. With that, Woody, if you've not already done so, you can slide IROSA away from you to release it from the FSE pin slot interface.
Complete.
Steve, you can work with Sultan and Frank to maneuver IROSA clear of that grapple tower.
Okay, Sultan and Frank, I am ready for you to take IROSA to the back-off position. I will give you clearance to the grapple tower.
And we copy that, Steve. We are ready for the maneuver to the IROSA removal position. And for you guys, it's going to be a body down for Woody, expecting 4.5 meters.
Concur, ready.
All right, start in motion, body down.
Good motion.
Copy, good motion.
That's a good motion.
Copy and continuing.
Good clearance to the tower, continue.
Copy, continuing.
Clear of POA. Clearance to the tower. Advise toward the POA.
Copy.
Good.
And we currently have a great view where NASA astronaut Woody Hoburg has a hold of the IROSA. It has been successfully removed from that FSE, that flight support equipment.
Copy, clear of the pen, motion continues.
Houston copies that we are clear of the grapple tower, including the pin. This is now GCA to a published position. I'm resuming comm with Steve. Steve, your next step is to perform a socket swap.
All right, socket swap to the 2-inch fixed 5/8, correct?
A-firm will stow the 5/8 12-inch on the socket caddy and put that 2-inch, like you say, on your PGT.
All right, that's good work.
One meter to go.
Continue.
Copy, continue.
And again, if you're just joining us, we're doing live coverage of the 265th spacewalk. This spacewalk is primary goals is to install the IROSA. We currently see NASA astronaut Woody Hoburg holding the IROSA in hand as he's attached to the end of the Canadarm2.
Full test, 12-inch to the socket caddy.
Copy.
Good pull test, 2-inch to the PGT.
Copy. Good pull test on the 2-inch on your PGT. You can stow your PGT.
Well, we have NASA astronaut Woody Hoburg holding the IROSA. Steve Bowen, NASA astronaut, is currently working to do a socket swap. He's still working at that FSE, or that flight support equipment pad. After a successful socket swap, he's going to stow that pistol grip tool, or that space drill. He's going to put it away in his crew lock bag. And then the duo are going to start trying to relocate that IROSA.
Copy. We will have you clean up crew lock bag T. That means stowing the socket caddy and all external rets, stowing them internally, and then you can button it up with the doors facing the FSE.
All right, that's in work.
And Woody, we're ready for the IROSA, your join all cast.
Okay, Sultan, I'm ready to yaw.
Okay, remember to yaw IROSA right in 3, 2, 1. Starting motion.
Good motion.
Copy, good motion.
Okay, I have only a adjustable on the outside of crew lock bag T.
Copy, Steve. That's a good config.
All right. I have it facing into the tower, so that should be good.
Looks good to us.
Check, make sure my tether's still going where I think it should. All right, I think I'm going to translate off and go pick up Woody's tether. Is that correct?
Affirm. You'll be translating to the port CETA cart. We'll have you retrieve your green hook first and then retrieve Woody's.
Understand. My green hook first.
Good words.
Woody, we're in position hold now for the second journal cast. It's a handoff intermediate 1, and we're expecting 3.5 minutes, yes.
I'll be Sultan ready. All right, green hook, red reel, do close side lock. Go to pick up Woody's tether.
Good config and affirm. Steve, Woody's tether is on the nadir CETA rail at mile marker 6210.
6210, heading there. Thank you.
And for both of you, We are approximately 1 hour into this EVA. Total EVA time's looking like 7 hours and 30 minutes, with the limiting consumable being Woody's battery. You are 30 minutes up on the timeline. Great job.
Copy. Thank you, James. Appreciate the update.
Lee, we are ready for the maneuver to the handoff intermediate position. And just a reminder, this motion will take you body in and then followed by body right.
Copy, Sultan. Thank you. I'm go.
Right, and starting motion. In 3, 2, 1. Starting motion.
Good motion.
Good motion.
Steve, we see you at Woody's green hook. We recommend that you stow this on your red reel.
Stowing on my right waist ring.
We have Steve and Woody. We currently see NASA astronaut Steve Bowen and Woody Hoburg have released the IROSA out of the FSC, or that flight support equipment, and Woody Hoburg is currently in movement toward that starboard truss, S6, where he will meet up with Stephen Bowen, where they will install that IROSA for that 1B power channel upgrade.
All right, I have Woody's green hook, my right waist tether, and I'm watching as it turns.
Currently seeing a helmet come through from Stephen Bowen, who is also starting his translation over to that S6 or starboard truss.
Seems to be following me.
Copy. Confirm the reel is unlocked.
And Woody's reel is unlocked. Actually, my reel is unlocked. Woody's is. Mine is unlocked, but it's not pending. Hold on.
Copy.
It's not viewing. That's what I'm seeing. All right, so. I'm down. He's up. All right, ready to translate.
Copy. You'll be translating outboard. We need to check that your gauntlets are down.
All right, gauntlets on both sides are down.
Copy. Ensure tethers don't cross, and you're headed to S5 to drop Woody's green hook. I'll have a handrail for you when ready.
All right, let me get on my way out there.
And Woody, your next motion is going to be the IROSA roll journal cast. We're expecting 2 minutes.
I'm great, Sultan, ready. All right, crossing the surge, gauntlets are down.
Copy, Steve.
And Woody, we are ready. And just a reminder to roll IROSA left.
Copy, roll left. Your go.
3, then then starting motion in 3, 2, 1. Motion start.
Good motion.
Copy, good motion.
Currently seeing live views outside the International Space Station during the 265th spacewalk. NASA astronauts Woody Hoburg and Stephen Bowen have the IROSA in hand and are in translation to the S6 or starboard truss 6 location for that 1B power channel to install the IROSA.
Usually it's my tether that hangs me up. This time it's Woody's.
We have Woody Hoburg at the end of the Canadarm2. He's locked in with that articulating portable foot restraint. And we see Stephen Bowen translating or moving towards that same area. Again, that work site will be the 6S truss. That's that starboard 6 truss where they'll be working to install that IROSA for a 1B power channel upgrade.
Seconds to a short handover.
Copy. All right, I have Woody's green hook.
We are ready for the handover intermediate to join our cast, and we're expecting 4 minutes.
Copy, Sultan, I'm ready.
Houston's back with you.
This motion is going to take you body in and then body up.
That looks right to me. I'm ready, Sultan.
Right, then starting motion in 3, 2, 1. Motion start.
Okay, Jenny, I'm trying to figure out which angle I'm going to. 2127, is that correct?
Affirm, and we have you that you have Woody's green hook down on 2140. I just need to check that his green wheel is unlocked.
I do. And the green wheel was unlocked. That is correct.
Okay, then Affirm, you are headed to 2127 to place your green hook.
All right, getting my green hook ready to install on 2127.
Just over an hour and 5 minutes into today's spacewalk, NASA astronauts Woody Hoburg and Stephen Bowen are currently heading to their next work site after releasing the IROSA from the FSE, or that flight support equipment.
Get close slider locked.
Copy.
All right, and I will continue my translation.
Stephen Bowen is translating, and we have Woody Hoburg, who will be waiting to hand off that IROSA over to Stephen Bowen. The duo will be doing a leapfrog maneuver, passing the IROSA off until they get to that starboard 6 truss area for that 1B power upgrade. Again, this is happening because the robotic arm does not reach all the way over to the starboard 6 truss.
Houston,
008, I remember that handrail.
Affirm, you'll likely be poor man fair leading your tether around it to keep your tether stowed around the perimeter.
I understand that's one of the overhangs.
The new solar array, which was delivered to the space station on a commercial resupply service mission, or CRS-28, on June 5th, will ultimately increase the station's available power by 30%. This will be the sixth IROSA, or third pair, to be completed today.
Fair lead, 2008. All right, now I head across here. I'm at the cable bag. Correct, Jenny?
Affirm, Steve.
All right. I'm at the width. I'm looking at 12. Papa, Papa. Foxtrot. And looks like 8.
Those are good settings.
All right.
Steve, when you're ready, you can ingress the APFR, and I have some checks for you.
All right, let me get comfortable here.
And our next motion is going to be the IROSA handoff back of journal gas, and we are expecting 2 minutes.
I'm ready, Sultan.
And Woody, we are ready, and just a reminder, this is going to be body right motion.
Concur, Sultan, ready.
The motion in 3, 2, 1.
Good motion.
New copy, good motion.
And we see Woody Hoburg in motion at the end of the Canadarm2. He's been flown from the inside of the International Space Station by UAE astronaut Sultan Anayati. And again, Woody Hoburg is being brought over to meet where Stephen Bowen is currently stationed. He's going to hand off that IROSA to Stephen Bowen.
Steve, can you see IROSA? I can. Good clearance. I'm just trying to get my foot in. Having some difficulty. Just let me know if we need to pause. All right, hold on. Oh, yeah, it's looking good. Okay.
And we are in position hold.
Copy, Sultan. I have some difficulty getting into my APFR today.
Copy, Steve. Take your time for everyone's awareness. We just need our checks once you're in the APFR, Steve, so we will hold on the final manual maneuver for the handoff.
Your right foot, I'm not sure if it kicked the roll, Steve. And I'll go check. Or I guess that's left. Yeah, let's not make that mistake later, okay? Yep. Still looks like 8. Great. And foxtrot back there. Let's try this again, see what I'm doing wrong. Take your time.
And we're currently getting a helmet cam view from Woody Hoburg, EV1. Again, we see him with the IROSA in hand. He is preparing to pass that off to Stephen Bowen. And we see the feet of Stephen Bowen as he is going into his articulating portable foot restraint. And we have switch views. And now have the helmet cam of Stephen Bowen looking out as he sees Woody Hoburg holding the IROSA. Again, we tell that that's Woody Hoburg by the red stripes on his suit.
Copy that you're in the APFR, Steve. Well done. Our checks are to ensure your cooling, visor, and glove heaters are set. We have 45 minutes until eclipse.
All right. My cooling visor and glove heaters are set. Good hat, a dry hat, and a good glove inspection. One smudge on there. Okay.
Copy. Let's ensure your gauntlets are down.
Gauntlets are down on EV2.
Tools and tethers are clear, and your ingress aid is clear.
Tools and tethers are clear. Ingress aid is clear.
Copy.
Can you just punch your bag to the left a little? Yep. Yeah. Good point. Good call. Looks good. Thank you. Roll that in a little bit. Yep.
We copy good checks. And finally,
that's good. How's that look, Woody? What is great, Steve?
Finally, Steve, ensure your heels are secure in the APFR.
My heels are secure in the APFR. It definitely feels different without a BSI.
All right, good to know. We copy all. When you are ready, you both can give Sultan and Frank a go to the published handoff position. Your first step will be to perform a RET swap. So, Steve, you'll be attaching a RET to the IROSA root beam handrail.
Over to you for GCA. Ready for GCA.
And we are ready, guys, for the GCA to the published IROSA handoff position. We're expecting 75 centimeters body in from Woody's perspective.
Sultan, that sounds perfect. I'm ready for GCA.
Start in motion in 3, 2, 1.
Good motion. I see good motion.
Good motion. Continuing.
Continue.
Again, you're seeing a helmet cam view from NASA astronaut Stephen Bowen. We see those IROSAs getting closer to him. Again, once given the go, we're going to see NASA astronaut Woody Hoburg hand off the IROSA to Stephen Bowen.
And a rep to the handrail. Continue.
Copy, continue. Ready to go.
Good stop motion.
Just stop.
Let me stabilize this out, Woody. Got it, Steve. I have the IROSA. Okay, you have the IROSA. Let me know when you want me to disconnect my rep.
My red is attached. I can see it. It looks good. Ready for you to detach your red.
Stephen, would you can recall that GCA complete?
GCA complete.
Stephen Bowen now has that IROSA in hand, and Woody Hoburg is going to be detaching his retractable. He's going to be retracting his equipment tether from that IROSA.
And Houston copies all.